Welcome back. I've just put our RoboFriends project on GitHub. But let's say you're downloading this project. Maybe you're sharing a project with other developers. But this project, let's say, was written last year. How can we update this project? If you remember, when we look at the package.json file, we have the React version as 16.2. But the React version is now higher. So let's update this project as you would on any other project. I'm going to clone this repo and I'm going to use SSH. You might have to use HTTPS if you haven't had that set up. But I'm going to use SSH just so I don't have to enter my password every time. So I'm going to clone this repo, say git clone RoboFriends. Awesome. Now if I go into my RoboFriends folder and I open this in Sublime, there we go. We have our package.json file, which we can see over here. Now, when I usually download a project, I want to make sure it starts. So I'm going to say npm start and make sure that everything is still working. Oh, and I get an error because I have to first do npm install. Oh boy, and we get a bunch of errors or warnings saying we've audited some of your packages. And there's a few vulnerabilities, actually quite a lot and two critical ones. And we can run npm audit fix to fix them. So let's copy that and run that again. And now I get another issue that 27 vulnerabilities required manual review. And you see here that it's mainly because some of them require what we call breaking changes. It might break our app. And this is the trade-off when updating libraries. You are using an older version of a library that may have changed and now breaks your app completely. So sometimes you want to go one by one to actually check and see what the changes are in these libraries. Now, if I run npm audit here, it'll actually give me some idea of what my issues are. Now, before I do npm audit fix and then do -- force to force all those changes, I want to talk a little bit about this package.json. You see, the React scripts, which is the create React app script that runs, is outdated. There's a way higher version of React scripts, a bigger version of the CRA, create React app, and same with React. So one thing I can do is say npm update. And if I run this, and when I click on this file, check this out. Did you see that? My versions got updated. Now, npm update, what it does is it looks at this version and says, what's the highest version that I can upgrade to? In my case, because I used the caret, it said, hey, you can upgrade to whatever the highest version is in the minor release. So if there was a React version 17, well, this wouldn't upgrade to 17 because we're using the caret. Remember, we can use greater than if we want to. But this way, we make sure that we only update whatever is in the minor release, which tends to not have any breaking changes. For example, when we have React 17, that's most likely going to have some breaking changes. Okay, so we have the React version updated, but we still have these vulnerabilities that we need to fix. Let's now run the audit, fix, and force, assuming that we've looked through the changes and we assume that it's okay. Everything should still work. So I'm going to run this. And again, keep in mind that when using force, you want to make sure that you actually review the updates. Now, while this is going, another thing I could have done with React is actually gone to the React website and checked the actual version. And instead of having the caret or doing npm update, I could just change the version. Let's say version 17 comes out in React, 17.0.2. Well, I can just change that in package.json and run npm install again. Let's clear this. We see here that our React scripts is now updated to version 3.2. That is the latest version of Create React App. That's awesome. If I do npm audit once again, I have 0 vulnerabilities. All right, looks like everything is looking fine, but we have one issue, right? We've updated everything that we have. There's no vulnerabilities, but because we've updated all these things, will our project still work? Well, there's one way to find out. Let's do npm start. All right, the new Create React app asks me for a target browser. So I'll click yes here. And look at that. Looks like things are still working. Good job, RoboFriends. If I open up the developer tools and I go to console, there's no errors. That's great. So just like that, I was able to update my project, upgrade my project with all the latest React, all the latest React DOM, the React scripts, which is what Create React App uses. We have Tachyons updated as well, and everything is working fine. So I can now push this change to GitHub so that we don't have those security warnings. Let's do that. I'm going to say git add, git commit. I'll say fixing security issues, updated libraries. If I do git push origin master, because, well, I'm the only one on this project, so I can just push to master. Now, if I go back to my GitHub page and I refresh, let's check out the security tab. And look at that. We have 0 closed, 0 open, because our project is now fully up to date. How cool is that? This is a great way to keep your projects updated and the security vulnerabilities fixed. But the more libraries you have, the more dependencies you have, the more maintenance you have to do to make sure that every time you update a library, that it doesn't break your app. Our RoboFriends app was fairly small, but you can imagine this being a bigger and bigger issue as applications grow. But I hope you learned one little trick that took me a long time to actually learn in my developer career. That is, the easiest way to keep your projects up to date and secure is to just simply update the package.json file. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.